Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really pissed off because I just filmed this video for 20 minutes and then I went to check back on the audio and it was not recording my audio. That's what I get for trying to use a new mic. Okay? I'm so upset. Guys, I really put a lot into it. Okay? I put a lot into it. I'm pretty sure that is it on a slant right now? Guys, I I'm sorry if I'm low energy because like I said, I recorded an amazing video and I just was not recording it the whole time. So I'm a little bit pissed off. But that's okay. We're not going to let that energy seep into this video. Welcome to my September TBR. Okay, let me preface by saying I am somebody who mood reads a lot. Like it's my thing. I see people filming videos of like prompts picking their TBR or like they get their friends and family to pick it for them and things like that. And that just would never work on me because I am such a mood reader. I have a very loosely created mental list in my mind before the month starts about what I want to read, and then I just read according to that and how I'm feeling. I'm also very prone to book slumps, which I mean, everyone really is, but I am very prone to them. So I've kind of created a good method this year, which has helped me to read 26 books so far, and which is it's the most I've read in a while. And essentially, what I've done is, so I'm a huge fantasy reader. Like I've always been a fantasy reader. Love my fantasy books, but they can put you in a book slump partially due to their sheer size and brain power it takes to read them. So this is the year I've actually gotten into romance, and like I've never been a huge romance reader, but I started reading Anna Huang books this year and they've helped me from falling into a book slump. I think going from a fantasy to a romance to a couple more fantasies to a couple more romances really helps to keep you stable, and it's prevented me from falling into a huge book slump. I've had book hangovers this year just from reading really good books and not being able to move on from them, but I wouldn't say I've fallen into any deep book slumps, so that's been good. Before we start the monthly TBR, I actually have this list that I created a couple of weeks ago. I call it my master TBR, which is like kind of the books that I want to read for the rest of the year. I have a lot more physical books on my bookshelf, but I've kind of unloaded them from my TBR, so I've kind of don't feel as pressured and overwhelmed, which I'm prone to as well. So as you can see, I've read a few books off that already. But yeah, this is very fantasy heavy, so these are mainly physical books that I have, and then my Kindle is where I read my romance books usually because it's easy to get to. It's cheap to get off Kindle as well, and I don't really need to be owning these books. So the first book in our TBR for September is Heir of Fire. I am halfway through the book, so this one should be a quick read. Yes, I'm halfway through it. I am filming a video that I'm talking about this in, so you can watch that when it comes up. But it's the fourth installation to the Throne of Glass series. I've been loving it. Assassin's Blade did put me in a little bit of a slump, but I managed to finish it and I actually really enjoyed it in the end. But Heir of Fire has been really good. I was very apprehensive about the dual perspectives. Not dual, it's like 8 different perspectives, but it's been good. And yeah, I can't say much without spoiling a whole bunch, but there's a lot of war, rebellion, exploring, magic, fae. There's been a lot more fae in this book, which I'm a sucker for a fae, right? I'm always it's gonna be the smoking gun for me every time. So yes, I'm really enjoying this, and there's really not much else I can say. It's very Lord of the Rings esque, and I'm not complaining. Be it as it may, I am a huge Lord of the Rings nerd ever since I was a kid. Okay, Lord of the Rings has been my thing. So, following that, the second book on my TBR for this month is Queen of Shadows, which is the next installation of the Throne of Glass series. I'm not gonna put the entire Throne of Glass series on here, and if I get to it, I get to it. But I am unwilling to confront the potential tandem read that might occur from this series because I haven't decided whether I'm going to tandem read yet or not. It seems like a very daunting task to take on, and I'm scared. So, Queen of Shadows, I'm assuming more rebellion, more war, and I'm very happy about that, honestly. I I'm really excited to read these books because it's really fun to just put on your ambiance music and light a candle and just fully immerse yourself into the series. The Throne of Glass series and Air of Fire, so far, I can speak on that. There's a subplot of romance, but I would not read it if you're into romance or romantasy. It's very high fantasy, and not everyone is into that, and I totally get it. But yes, it's very high fantasy, and it's supposed to be a young adult series, but I can't really imagine young adults reading this just because it feels very adult in its construction, and it does take a lot of brain power to get through. And I did try reading this series when I was a teenager, and I think I got through the first book, but that was it because the construction and like the war and the rebellion and all of that high fantasy elements, it takes a bit more brain power to get through. I'm enjoying it great as an adult, and these books have been a great form of escapism for me. I understand that can be damaging and like it's concerning in a different way, but I've really needed a little bit of that, and it's really helped me this year so far. The third book. Will I actually get to this? I don't know. So, it's my reread of acotar. It's because I plan to read Crescent City 2 this year. So I was like, let me do a reread of acotar first. It might be an overload of Sarah J. Maas, and I might end up confusing the characters and the places and the people and everything, essentially, because the systems of magic and things are different in these two books, but it's practically just Beauty and the Beast, right? And this would be like my fourth time reading this particular book. And the reason I want to do this reread is also because I want to have an annotated copy of this book. I have read, the previous times I've read this book has been through library editions, and I want an annotated version for myself. It is it's like my favorite series ever. And it's just something that has always stuck with me since, I first read it in 2015. So that was before booktok craze. And I have loved it ever since. And I'm so glad that it's getting the love that it is or has been getting, because it deserves it. It's really an amazing series, and it's something everyone can read. It's a lot easier to read than Throne of Glass. And the romance is amazing. This year, I've really been into reading fantasies without as much romance, which has been so uncharacteristic for me. Considering A Court of Mist and Fury is my favorite book ever. I'm unable to even verbalize, but I love A Court of Mist and Fury. And what's a close second is A Court of Silver Flames. So that kind of goes to show what kind of reader I've been. But I've been really enjoying just separating the fantasy and separating the romance this year. Which maybe that's character development on my part. Maybe that's the frontal lobe like developing. I don't know. That's I love character development. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get through A Court of Thorns and Roses. Maybe I'll get through the first book, but I'm definitely not going to go into A Court of Mist and Fury until I finish the rest of Throne of Glass because I don't want to confuse myself. Okay, I know I will, and I don't want that to happen. So yes, that's another potential read for this month. The rest of the books are in Kindle. So I like to read my romance on Kindle. I think I mentioned that. The first romance that I have for this month is actually Hunting Adeline, which is the second installation to the Cat and Mouse series. God, that name, far out. So, Haunting Adeline was an interesting experience which I never want to relive. I did not enjoy it particularly. I enjoyed the true crime, thriller, horror aspect of the book, but the romance, it wasn't a romance. And I think it deserves the hate that it gets. Because the main male character very much has built his entire reputation, wealth, and everything off protecting women and children from heinous crimes and assault and trafficking and things like that. And yet he himself is doing a lot of illegal things to a woman that he claims to love. So that really did not sit well with me. The only issue is that the first book ended on a cliffhanger, a severe cliffhanger, and I want to know what happens in the true crime aspect of the book. Maybe the romance won't be as bad in this book because I feel like Zaid and Adeline have a more established relationship already. How was it established in the foundations of manipulation and assault? Maybe, but hopefully it's not as it's not even morally gray, it's just illegal. So hopefully it's not as illegal. But yes, that's the first romance. I mean, it's barely a romance book. And I've already purchased that, so I kind of have to read it now because I will not let that go to waste. The second book is something I'm actually very excited about. It's Beautiful Venom. Well, it's the fifth book, but the second Kindle book that I plan to read is Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. I love Rena Kent. Rena Kent is a dark romance author, and she's so famous, right? She has this huge universe with interconnected characters, and her books have introduced me to dark romance. And yes, God of Malice was the first one I read, and it was that wasn't great, but ever since then it's been amazing, and I am so excited to read Beautiful Venom and get back into that universe. The last Rena Kent book I read was Kiss the Villain, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think she writes queer characters really well. She's the only author I've read queer books from, and I've really enjoyed them. So I that's why I enjoyed Kiss the Villain. And I'm excited for Beautiful Venom. I've seen so many amazing things about it, and it's going to be a really good palette cleanser between my fantasies. Yes, I'm so excited about that. I'm going to purchase it, and I'm going to read it. I absolutely cannot wait. It's been a while since I've read a good romance, because the last romance I read was Haunting Adeline, and it haunted me. Not Adeline. I think she enjoyed it, actually. So that's that. And the last book on my loose TBR for this month is The Kiss of a Basilisk, Kiss of a Basilisk, Kiss of the Basilisk, something about a basilisk. My only experience with basilisks is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So I don't really know what this is about. I've heard whispers, okay, in the community. And I've read the Amazon reviews for this book, and people seem to rate it quite highly. How smutty is it? Just how smutty is it? Because I like a good spicy book, but not when the smut literally does not need to be there. That's always my issue with books where it's like a great plot and then they just throw in a bunch of smutty scenes around that have absolutely no relation to the plot whatsoever. So that's what I'm concerned about, and I'm gonna hold off on purchasing the book just yet because the book is really expensive. Like the physical copy at a local library was $35. The Amazon paperback is $26 and the Kindle version is like $17 or $18. I'm gonna have to be really desperate this month and then I will purchase it on Kindle because I don't know how I'm supposed to order that book to my house and like it show up on the shared Amazon account with my family. It's not even that bad. I'm an adult. I'm 23 years old. Like, calm down. But like, it doesn't change it, okay? Because even I'm like concerned. But yes, it's gonna have to be like I actually need to read something so different this month that I go and reach for that book. It's not even on my master TBR. It's just something that I've heard whispers about in a few recent days. But yes, that is the 6 books that I have on my radar for this month. And if something else falls into my lap, I will read it. If I decide that I absolutely hate what I've concocted for this month, I will just go pick a different book. But that's where I'm at for this month. And my beautiful master TBR, let's bring it back. Okay. She is the TBR for the rest of the year. And obviously there's going to be books that aren't on there that I'm going to read, but let's see, my acotar reread is on there. And then, I mean, it's mostly Throne of Glass books, actually. But, okay, this is embarrassing, right? Iron Flame. Also, that hasn't been updated. But anyway, Iron Flame. It's one of the books that put me in an almost book slump this year. And I do really need to get to it. Okay, as much as I loved Fourth Wing, I'm more of a Sarah J. Maas individual, girly. And I love Fourth Wing, but like I said, I've been enjoying separating my romance and fantasy this year. I feel like when there's a heavy romance plot in a fantasy book, I stop caring about the actual fantasy plot, which in a fantasy book, it's really important to care about the plot and like be locked in for what's happening. And like the rebellion that's brewing or the war that's about to happen. But the romance ends up just overtaking my mind and then I just don't pay attention to the actual plot of the book. So maybe that's why it's been good to separate the two this year. I will get to Iron Flame. I have like 50 pages left. Okay, like 50. So it shouldn't be an issue. And then hopefully that makes me want to read Onyx Storm. I'm going to get through it, guys. Like, I've already started it, and it's such a big series that peer pressure alone will get me through the series. So yes, that is my September kinda TBR. I hope you have an amazing month of reading. I hope that you're currently reading a good book, and if you're not, please just DNF it, because I don't want you to fall into a book slump. We have 4 more months to go, and that's a lot of time to be reading a lot of great books. It's okay to DNF a book. You have free will. You are not being held captive by the book. So please just drop it, pick up something else, maybe come back to it. Yes, I hope you have an amazing month of reading. I hope you're reading a great book, and yeah, enjoy. Well, it's spring where I'm living, so if you're in the southern hemisphere, enjoy spring. enjoy everything about spring, romanticize it, live your whimsy life. And if you're in the northern hemisphere, autumn is like the best month. It's amazing. So it's great. Autumn and spring are great months. Okay, there's no extreme weather. So enjoy it, go outside, touch grass, do what you need to do. And I hope you have an amazing month, and I will see you again soon.